a walk, but you don't look that good.
I'm just gonna ride. Just keep going.
I found you on the side of the road.
Let me go.
Not gonna happen.
Critics called Crow Valley flawless, but missed the clue that ruins everything. Hit play before Hollywood deletes this video. The film begins with a tense scene of a terrified girl running inside her house, clearly trying to hide from something or someone. Meanwhile, we are introduced to Benny, a young man who appears deeply disturbed and emotionally shaken. The next morning, Benny confides in his friend, revealing that he is exhausted and in desperate need of a break from his current life. He decides to travel to a secluded place called Crow Valley, hoping that a cycling trip into nature will offer him peace. His friend supports the idea, and soon Benny sets off, loading a few supplies and his bicycle into his car. After driving a bit, Benny stops outside a general store, takes out his bicycle, and heads inside to buy some essentials. While shopping, he notices a mysterious girl, the same one we saw running in fear earlier, who is now silently watching him. When Benny exits the store, the girl follows and continues staring at him with an unsettling intensity, but he proceeds with his journey regardless. Riding quickly toward Crow Valley, Benny stops to rest by a waterfall and drink some water. But his peaceful moment is cut short when one of his bike tires suddenly bursts. While he's checking the damage, a speeding car crashes into him. It's the same car scene at the general store, and the driver is the same eerie girl. Panicking, she checks his pulse and, upon confirming he's alive, hurriedly loads his unconscious body into her car and drives off. She eventually reaches a remote, dusty cabin in the middle of nowhere. After failing to get a response at the door, she breaks a window and enters. The abandoned condition of the place suggests it hasn't been used in a long time. Sometime later, Benny regains consciousness inside the cabin, severely injured and confused. He has no memory of what happened or how he got there. The girl, whose name is later revealed to be Greta, lies to him, saying she found him unconscious and brought him to her uncle's cabin. When Benny asks why she didn't call an ambulance, she claims there's no phone service in Crow Valley. Despite not being a doctor, Greta begins treating Benny's wounds, bandaging his arm and head. While in the kitchen, Greta is plagued by disturbing memories and hears haunting voices. A flashback reveals a traumatic argument with her mother, followed by a horrifying glimpse of a ghostly figure outside her window. Snapping back to the present, she prepares food for Benny. When Benny finally asks for her name, she introduces herself as Greta. Though he feels embarrassed by her kindness, Greta insists that helping him is her duty. Greta begins to have more flashbacks. She suffers from severe depression and hears voices that torment her constantly. She has stopped taking her medication and lives in constant fear, haunted by what she believes is a ghost following her. One flashback shows her mother scolding her for not taking her pills, to which Greta lies, claiming she has been. In the present, the voices in her mind intensify, commanding her to kill Benny. Overwhelmed, she grabs a knife and approaches his room, but the last moment, regains control of herself and retreats. The next morning, Benny ventures outside in hopes of finding help. After a long and fruitless walk, he spots a car hidden in the forest and rushes back to tell Greta. She pretends to be surprised, but Benny suspects the car is hers. While Greta heads into the woods to calm her thoughts, Benny searches the house and finds the car keys hidden in her room. Meanwhile, Greta, now fully aware of Benny's suspicion, becomes furious. She grabs a baseball bat and storms after him. Benny tries to escape in the car. Greta confronts him and demands that he back away. When he refuses, she violently hits him with the bat and knocks him unconscious. Dragging him back into the cabin, she ties him to a chair with tape. When he awakens, confused and terrified, he begs her to let him go, offering her money if that's what she wants. Greta, still under the influence of the voices in her head, demands that he tell her his real name. Benny admits his real name is David. The moment David says his name, the voices in Greta's mind explode in rage. Consumed by fury, she smashes David's hand with a hammer. His scream briefly silences the voices, bringing Greta back to reality. In a moment of painful clarity, Greta shows David a photo of her and her sister, and he finally realizes the horrifying truth. Years ago, he had accidentally killed Greta's sister in a drunk driving incident. David tries to defend himself, claiming it wasn't his fault and that her sister ran in front of his car, but Greta accuses him of lying, saying her sister was still alive and calling for help, and he abandoned her out of fear. David continues to plead. The voices return, urging Greta to finish what she started. She's about to kill him when a truck approaches the cabin. It's the property owner. Greta meets him outside, feigning innocence and saying she only took shelter there after an accident. However, the man becomes suspicious upon seeing blood on her clothes and barges into the house. Before he can reach David, Greta strikes him with the bat, fatally injuring him. Overwhelmed with guilt, she retreats to her room and breaks down, staring at her sister's photo. Meanwhile, David takes advantage of her absence to free himself. He cuts the tape with a knife on the kitchen floor, grabs the truck keys, and tries to escape. But the truck fails to start. Hearing footsteps, David hides under a tree trunk while Greta frantically searches for him. As she passes by unknowingly, David recalls the accident, how he saw her sister alive but fled instead of helping her. Deeply remorseful, he still prioritizes survival. After Greta leaves the area, David returns to the house to retrieve the truck keys. But as he finds them, Greta confronts him, holding the keys on the edge of a knife. A fierce struggle breaks out, and in the chaos, Greta is accidentally stabbed. David grabs the keys and rushes to the truck, but stops. He doesn't want to repeat his past mistake. He returns, finds Greta still alive, and drags her to the car to take her to the hospital. On the way, Greta regains consciousness and pulls the knife out of her stomach, causing heavy bleeding. Despite David's efforts to save her, the blood loss proves fatal. In the end, Greta dies without fulfilling her revenge. It is revealed that the ghostly voice haunting her was that of her dead sister, driving her toward vengeance. As the film ends, this ghostly presence finally appears before a devastated David, marking a chilling conclusion to the story. Critics called Crow Valley flawless, but they missed one clue that ruins everything: the car. Greta pretends not to recognize her car, revealing she didn't find David by accident, she planned it. That twist changes the whole story from coincidence to calculated revenge. Was Crow Valley right or just a monster? Debate below, and if you want a more in-depth breakdown, subscribe. We're just getting started. You'll see what we mean in our next movie recap.